Started. Welcome to committee.
Thank you, Chairman Anderson, for the opportunity to highlight the great things being done at L3Harris. My name is Jackie Millage. I am the Kansas representative for L3Harris. I'm based out of Wichita. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce our Senior Critical Solutions Architect, Harry Maddox, who will be providing a brief presentation and overview of L3Harris. So we're honored to show you what we do today. So thank you.
Welcome to committee, Harry.
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate it. Thank you all for letting us be here. I really appreciate you giving us the time in this podium. I want to take a moment before we really kind of get into this, because I think the idea is to kind of tell you a little bit about L3Harris, because maybe you don't know who we are and what we're about. But I'm compelled to tell you a little bit about myself, because you're going to start to get as I talk that I'm probably not from Kansas, as you can probably tell. But I do have a quick story about that. I'm actually from Texas, born and raised. 42 years ago, I married my wife, who is from Topeka, Kansas. She was born and raised right here. So I have some ties to Kansas. Just wanted you to know that. Also, before we get started, I kind of want to do a little bit of audience participation and ask you a couple questions. They're going to start really easy, and then they're going to get real difficult. Raise your hand if you've ever flown on a commercial airliner. Oh, good. Okay, cool. Raise your hand if you've ever used GPS navigation on your phone connected to your car. Cool. Wow. Hard one. Raise your hand if you're familiar with what the military did, the United States military did to capture Maduro. Raise your hand if you're familiar with that activity at all. Okay, all right, good. All right, moving on. We're gonna give you a little short video that should kind of explain a little bit about L3Harris, and then I'll do a little bit of talking. So what you didn't know was that all of you are very familiar with L3Harris because you use our products every day. If you fly a commercial airline, we are the network that keeps those airplanes from running into each other in the skies. When you use your GPS on your phone connected to your car, that's our satellites that you're using to do that. And when you saw the capture of Maduro, that's all our communications technology being used in the military to make that happen. And lastly, if you do any kind of news at all and watch the weather, whether it be the Weather Channel, Fox News, Fox Weather Report, ABC, CBS, that is the National Weather Service is our network. So you're using our products every day, and you just didn't even know it. So our CEO, Chris Kubasik, calls us the trusted disruptor. That's what we tell people. It kind of relates to me very well because when I was in school, I was pretty much a disruptor too, as you could probably imagine. But what is a disruptor, okay? Well, I'll give you an explanation. So we are the largest supplier of communications products for the Department of Defense, our military. You may have seen in our green radios, we call them the green radios, in military tanks, in aircraft, on our soldiers. See those man packs on the shoulders where they get the big radio on the back? That's L3 Harris, right? So to be a disruptor, what do? You got to disrupt the norm. So what they did was they decided that they wanted to take the technology that we developed for the military and bring it to public safety communications, our first responders. So in order to do that, there was two ways to go about doing it. You could come in, start your whole new business vertical and gain business and gain customers and so on and so forth, or you could buy an existing company that already had that customer base and then bring your technology in that way. So that's what we did. Harris bought Tyco Electronics, and then they brought their military technology into Tyco Electronics as Harris, right? And when they did that, they took our multi-band radio called the Falcon 3 that the soldiers wear because they have to communicate across all kinds of frequencies. And it's a very, very smart radio. And we brought that technology into public safety to bring the very first multi-band radio into public safety. So we were a leader. We disrupted the norm on public safety communications, and we brought a first to the public safety world with that radio. That's kind of what a disruptor is, right? Kind of get an idea of what disruption is. And then, basic, he had the idea of what they merged L3 Communications with Harris to create the largest DoD defense merger in the industry. That was the very first and the biggest that had ever been done to create L3 Harris. So that's disruption, right? Kind of give you an idea what the disruption is. So when they did that, this recent year, we aligned all of those different divisions that you could imagine that you had between L3 and Harris. When we merged, we started aligning those divisions. You had our two-way radio and radio network division over here. You had our tactical comms over there. We had our satellite communications. So they very smartly joined all those into communications and spectrum dominance. And so that's our segment of the three aligned missions that you see on your screen right now. So all of our communications and all of our comms now are combined as one. And one of the things that we're doing now is we're really bringing the unity and the unification of all those technologies into one division so that we can cross-multiply and share those technologies. All that research and development that's spent for the military is now coming to us on the public safety side of the business. And the public safety first responders don't have to pay for it because it's already been paid for. It's very exciting. L3 Harris, you may not be aware of this, but we have systems in every state in the union. We even have systems right here in Kansas. As you can see, Riley County, McPherson County, Fort Leavenworth, Fort Riley, McDonnell Air Force Base. They're all using our equipment and our networks. We have 7 statewide systems. You'll see that in the dark maroon. We have 7 statewide systems where the entire system, the entire state is a radio system designed by us, installed by us, implemented by us, and the entire state is using it. And we are in every state in the union. The operating principles is, again, to have one company, the power of the enterprise solution, and a committed speed and excellence. So what we did, an example of that, is recently the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association, you may be familiar with that. Those are the people that tell you what your coat is that they have to wear to go into the fire, what the boots are supposed to do, what the tank is supposed to do, what the air mask is supposed to do. They have all these regulations about what those devices and things have to meet, the standards that they have to meet in order for them to go fight a fire safely. Well, the one device that they carry that is the lifeline for the firefighter is their radio. And for the first time ever, it was to be NFPA certified, if you can believe that. NFP certification has been around for a long time. The mask has been certified for a long time, the helmet, the bunker coat, the pants, the boots, all that's been NFP certified, except for the radio. And that's the one device that they use the most, that's their lifeline when they get into that fire. So for the first time ever, they put out standards for a radio to be designed to meet that standard. So when they did, it was a very stringent standard. The radio had to withstand 500 degrees for 30 minutes. And then you take that radio and you put it directly into 70-degree water and let it cool down. You pick the radio back up, you put it back into 500 degrees. Take the radio out, put it back into the water. You have to do that 5 times. Not only do you have to do that, the same radio has to pass a test with a 1,700-degree heat blast for 15 seconds. The same radio. So it can't fail one test to the other. So in order to do that, when we were looking at how we were going to design the radio, we were like, we don't have a polycarbonate that's going to meet that demand. So what are we going to do? So one of our smart guys, wasn't me, one of our smart guys says, we have a space division. They send things into space and they come back into space. They get very hot going up, they get very hot going down. I bet they got something for us. So we took the design over to them and said, hey, this is what we got to meet. What do you got? They said, great, we got something for you. Sign an NDA. And we're like, but we're L3 Harris. Sign an NDA. Whatever that plastic is, or carbonate, or whatever it is, we don't know what it is, but now we have a product that meets those demands, and that is now into the hands of our firefighters. So that's the cross-collaboration that Chris Kubasic had, the idea of bringing all this unification in so that we could cross-collaborate and bring a better product to our public safety agencies. One of the things that I kind of wanted to tell you before I get into this last video is kind of personal for me. I got into this business 25 plus years ago, and I quickly found my passion. I don't think I was born with the DNA of our firefighters, of our police officers. See, because it takes a special person. When a fire happens, they run into the fire. We're running out. When gunfire happens, we're trying to duck and cover and run away. And our police officers are running into it. Not sure I was born with that DNA. I haven't been faced with that yet, but I'm not sure I was born with that DNA. But I quickly found out when I got in this business 25 years ago, what I really was passionate about was making sure that when they kissed their loved one goodbye in the morning, that we make sure they come home at night. That's our responsibility. And ultimately, when you guys are looking at your responsibility, it's partly yours too, because we got to figure out a way to give them the ability to put that stuff in their hands. That's why I'm very passionate about it. And when you see this last video, it's what I think of every day when I get up, and it's what I think of every day when I go to bed. Oops, I hit the wrong button. There you go.
We're here for the heroes. The sung and unsung, the pre-dawn risers and midnight oil burners, the protectors and precious cargo handlers, the first responders and the last to leave the scene. You who keep us safe, who keep the lights on, who keep us moving, who keep business in business, we are here for you, and you only. At L3 Harris, mission critical is what we're made of, and your work is what we're made for. Your work demands more than the average, out-of-the-box solution. It demands hardware forged on a battlefield, systems built for resilience, solutions tailor-made for the task at hand. It demands a partner who's all in on your mission. So, in those all-in moments, when every connection counts, count on us. Because your connections are our reason for being. Every day we strengthen them, expand them, and watch over them like we're on a mission. Because we are yours.
56 at this time.
Short and sweet. So if you have any questions, I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Harry? Representative Bloom.
Chairman, how did they get Maduro? How'd they get Maduro in Venezuela?
The technology that was used, is that what you're asking?
Yes, I'd like to know. We heard a little bit how they jam things and stuff.
Well, yeah, so you had jammers, right? Frequency jammers, and then all the connectivity of when they're doing the flyovers. I'm not sure how familiar you are with what they did, but we sent some fake drones over.
From the beginning.
Right, so we sent some fake drones over, and then from the other side, we had airplanes flying in, kind of as a distraction, and then ultimately it was some helicopters that came in that actually dropped the soldiers off that went and did the work. So there was a lot of distraction going on. It's like, looky here, hey, looky here, and we were really going over here, right? So all that technology that was being used is our communications technologies that's being used to be able to pull that off. There's a lot of other different companies working together, which is what we call interoperability, and a lot of our equipment and our networking equipment was being used for that project. Thank you. Yeah, you bet.
Representative Resman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When it comes to the military application, you mentioned the radios does several different things.
Oh, yeah.
What happens if that gets compromised? Somebody else winds up with that radio that shouldn't have it.
Well, there's a couple of things that can happen. First of all, there's multi-key encryption. It's a military encryption, 256 key encryption, so that when they communicate, you can't hear it over the radio, over scanners and things like that. So there is that. But if someone absconds a radio, steals a radio, you can go into the software and stun it, which means it makes it interoperable. And then if you can't locate it, for whatever reason, because again, they'll have GPS in them and you have the ability to locate it. But if you can't locate it, then you can kill the radio. It just completely kills the radio. It can't be used, I mean, you would never turn it back on. The only way you can turn it back on is they have to get the radio back, and then they send it to us, we bring the radio back to life, and we send it back to the customer.
Representative Delperdang.
Thank you. Good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Kind of intrigued me on it.
That was Jackie. Jackie put that together. She just wanted me to do the talking.
So do you own the birds?
Do we own the birds? When you say the birds, you mean
Satellites
the
themselves.
satellites? We own some of the satellites, but we put a lot of the technology in the satellites.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious if you could divulge it even, but what kind of bandwidth can you get through these things? I don't need
lot.
specific, but what?
A lot.
So, okay.
Yeah.
What kind of, you mentioned some of the temperature tests on the radios and stuff. What kind of temperature extremes are they subject to up there?
Well, are you talking about in space?
Yes.
Oh,
People
thousands
think
and
that's,
thousands of
people
degrees.
think that's cold up there.
Oh,
No, you got a white.
No, it is cold, but re-entry, exit and re-entry. Re-entry is thousands of degrees.
Even while you're up there, because you got the sun on.
Yeah, so depending on where you are in the atmosphere itself, low orbit's probably not that hot, but
Okay.
cold, cold. It is cold up there, but like there's parts of it where when you're outside, the suit is to protect you from the heat as much as it is from the cold and the fact
So
that you
you're
don't
in
have
low
oxygen.
Earth orbit then?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just curious. You had-
But we are also Artemis 2. If
Are
you're
you?
paying attention to that, that's our rocket boosters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when are they going to launch that? They got delayed.
Ain't me. But yeah, I'm anxiously awaiting. I'm going to be in Florida for 2 weeks. I got to go down for a user group conference where we get to meet all of our customers, and we bring all of our customers in, our international and our statewide customers. We come in one, we meet, and they give us ideas, we share ideas, and so on and so forth. So I'll be there all week for that. The following week, I'm there for what we call the Global Summit. It's what I just described. All of our entities are coming together, and we're going to meet and share ideas from that user group meeting and see what we can make happen and so on and so forth. So I have 2 weeks to have an opportunity to see that thing go off. So
And so you'll be actively involved as that program goes on, and we eventually land up there too, then I take it.
yeah,
So-
it's not my division, but I pay attention to it because I'm kind of a technology geek. I love the stars and things like that, so I do pay attention to it. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Representative Ellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 2 questions. Where are you going to manufacture it and these parts? Is it affordable?
So a lot of our manufacturing, depending on the products, are manufactured in the United States. We have manufacturing facilities across the world. We do not have manufacturing facilities in China, despite what some people might say. We do not have manufacturing facilities in China. And a lot of it, you'd be surprised, is made in the United States, especially when you're looking at a lot of our DOD stuff. We got all of our rocket factories, they're here. Our tactical radios, the green radios, they're made in Rochester, New York. I mean, the list goes on. There's quite a few. We're in 130 countries, so strategic manufacturing, you know, where needed, but there is a lot of it here.
How affordable is this going to be for police and firefighters?
I can tell you this, sir. It's a lot less expensive than the manufacturer that's running the state right now. Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
I can say that very confidently.
One other question. Did your company have anything to do with sending the bomb down the shaft in Iran?
That's probably way more information than I get access to, but I can tell you this, there's a lot of comms going on that make that happen, and that is a part of ours, yes.
Representative Hoy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the presentation. We do get informational hearings in this committee from time to time about different products and things. So could you, L3 and Harris, and I think there's a number of corporations that combine to be L3 Harris, is that?
L3,
Just two?
just
Okay.
L3 Harris. It was L3 Corporation, and it was Harris. We merged, and that created the largest merger in DOD history to create one company, L3 Harris.
Okay,
And
so
what
now,
they're doing is they're taking the divisions that were kind of between those two, they combined where it made sense. So let me help you understand. The tactical division, the green radio, right? The radio that's in the tank, the one that's on the back. That radio kind of sat by itself. Our satellite communications was kind of over here. My division, which is public safety, first responder, we were over here, right? Very smartly, they put us all together as one communications group. So that now is one single communications group that allows us to take the night vision goggles, the green radio, all that technology, we now gotta get to share with each other going, ooh, what can we do for you, right? So that's kind of how we're focused. And then you got our defense part where we're doing, you know, creating the softwares and things that do to take care of nefarious bad guys and so on. So I'll give you a new one that we came up with. So we've got the World Cup coming. The big beautiful bill allowed $250 million for drone mitigation and detection and mitigation. I don't know if you're aware of it. It's called the CUAS. Matter of fact, Kansas City got 5.3 million? 4.3 million. Y'all may not, maybe you don't, I don't know. But y'all got $4.3 million for this. So what's the big concern? This is public knowledge now. It was kind of not, now it is. So the concern was, if y'all have seen what's going on with drones across the world, especially in Russia, the Ukraine war, drones are being used to take people out, machines out, ships out, right? And I'm not talking about giant drones, I'm talking about drones, right? So the fear is, or the concern is with that technology expanding, how are we going to detect that? When you got a World Cup coming and you got nefarious people trying to figure out bad things to do, you got to figure out how to thwart them, right? So one of our companies we invested in is called Matrix Space, and they are a drone detection company, right? So it's a radar system that detects drones at low altitude, so 300 feet and below, 400 feet and below. And what we did was we took that technology, we invested in them, we take that technology and say, okay, y'all got the cool radar to detect this. What happens, what do you do with it when you detect it? It's coming towards your crowd. There's 85,000 people there. What are you going to do with it? You got to take it out. That's us. That part, that one little piece coming together, we know how to take it out of the sky. We can send it back to where it came from. We can read that technology, right? We can read that drone. We can say, we know what that is. It's not nefarious, but we don't want it in our airspace. We'll send it back where it came from. So it sends it right back to its user. If we see this nefarious, we can actually take it out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And then I guess the reason for my question is just doing a little advanced looking into the hearing for today. It said, I found L3 Technologies had a $62 million settlement with the Department of Defense for pricing issues with the government contracts. Is that something that, now that it's L3 Harris, that has been managed, and also what course corrections have been put in place?
I can get Jackie, we can supply you a write-up for that. It's not something I can speak to, because again, it's a division far removed from my responsibility, but I can speak a little bit to it in that there's paperwork, certain paperwork has, what's it called, 9001 certification, what's it? ISO, not, it had something to do with that and improper paperwork. And so we've corrected that, we've course corrected that, and we take measures to make sure that that doesn't happen again. But we will get you information as to exactly what that mitigation was.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely, you bet.
Representative Resnick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You mentioned that you could take out that drone. When you mean take out, what do you mean?
Well, there's multiple ways to take something out. Again, we can send it back to where it came from. We can take control of it, send it where we need it to go. But the one thing you're concerned about, right, is what does it have? What's it attached to? So one of the things that we want to try to do is, if we take control of that, we might want to send it to, I don't talk so negatively, but we want to send it to where we can manage it, whether it be a bomb, anthrax, whatever. We want to send it to where we can manage that. And then if it's like really bad, if we have to, we can use, I won't say what the technology is, but we can take it out of the sky if we have to. Like literally take it out of the sky, like boom.
Like shoot it out of the sky?
Can't shoot something really, really small, but it's a technology that can, yes. It may not be a bullet, but yes, you're shooting it.
Representative Ellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Even with fiber optics,
So FPV, that's a first, let me see if I get this right, first person view. So basically what that means is it's a person with a headset on, and they're seeing where it's going, and they can either fly it by wire, fiber optic, or they can see where it's going, and it's flying without fiber optics and using GPS and so on and so forth. So they're flying it, right? So the answer is yes, we can detect and remove that if we have to. Yes, sir. We're one of the few technologies that can do that.
Anything further for Harry? All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate the presentation.
Thank you, Chair Anderson. Appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Well, that will close the presentation on L3 Harris. And if there's nothing else for the committee, we are not meeting the rest of this week, and watch the calendar for next week. We're adjourned.